What's up, guys? It's Curse Mark Reed here with picks on the Bluff's coverage of NCAA's week number 7. Now, last week we had a bunch of upsets, and all the upsets were the ones that I didn't call. I called, let's see, I called 3 major upsets. One kinda came through, which it was an upset, yes, but it wasn't a major upset. But the other 2 I called, Stanford beating Notre Dame, that didn't come true, and Nebraska beating Michigan State, that didn't happen either. But last week we had the number 2 team defeated, the number 3 team defeated, and the number 4 team defeated. So we had a major upset week. Mississippi had a major. Because both Mississippi teams had a big win weekend, and just for that, game day is going to stick in Mississippi for game day this week. Going to go to Mississippi State instead of being at Ole Miss. Now, I want to say something about the game day of last week. Yes, it was funny, but they need somebody better on there instead of Katy Perry. She picked in the Oklahoma game. She picked on looks, and then on the LSU game she picked with a corn dog, and then she threw the corn dog at the camera. So if anybody has an explanation of corn dogs being thrown, I would love to hear it. So, and then she throws the old guy, Corso, I think is his name. Yeah, Lee Corso's head, if it's not, and whatever. But he throws his head off. Not his actual head, but the pick head thing that he does, his headgear. Well, that's enough for last week. Let's get into this week. Got the papers here. Not many games. See, I think the same number of games. No, fewer games than last week. So let's go ahead and get to it. No Thursday night game. But we have a Friday night game, Washington State at number 25, Stanford. I'm going to stick with Stanford here, just because I don't, Stanford's a good team, and I haven't seen Washington State play. To our Saturday game, starting off with number 1, Florida State at Syracuse. Syracuse is just hasn't come strong on any of the games they played this year. Florida State should beat them easily, but, I'm not rooting for Florida State, but I'm going to pick them. Number 2, Auburn at number 3, Mississippi State, the place for game day. Auburn jumped up from number 5, wasn't it? Yep, number 5 to number 2 with beating LSU, and then seeing as number 2, number 3, and number 4 got beat, it was right for them to jump up to number 2. But I'm going to pick the upset here. I think Mississippi State is rolling. They'll get the win here, and they'll just continue on the rest of the year. I mean, SEC teams have a tough schedule. Any team can win on any day, so it's like you've heard this every single week from me. SEC is just a no. You can't predict it. Something bad is going to happen, something unpredictable. You saw Ole Miss beat Alabama last week, and they jumped from 11 to technically tied for 3, but I put them as number 4. So, I'm taking Mississippi State on this one. And speaking of Ole Miss, number 4 Ole Miss plays number 14 Texas A&M, who lost to Mississippi State last week. I'm going to stick with Ole Miss. I didn't get to watch the game all through the month of October. I won't get to watch the night games because I work in a haunted house that is every Saturday in October. But from what I heard and from some of the highlights I saw, Ole Miss, it's just they played their game, and then at the end they got out of a potential, letting that game get away from them. But Ole Miss will beat Texas A&M. TCU at number 5, Baylor. TCU is number 9. Should be another great matchup. TCU beat Oklahoma, which jumped them all the way from number 25 to number 9. And I don't see them jumping that far. but the BCS is all screwed up this season. I don't think it really is the BCS system anymore. It's that new playoff and whatever. But I'm going to pick Baylor. I think Baylor, if they don't screw up, they're going to get into the playoff run, I guess you can call it. So, who knows? Cat, don't knock over my camera. Remember the cat. North Carolina at number 6, Notre Dame. I'm not quite sure if Notre Dame's an ACC team or not. If someone can clear that up for me, I would love to know. I think either they are or they're going to be, but they're ranked right now, so you got to pick the game, and I'm going to go with Notre Dame over North Carolina. Number 7, Alabama at Arkansas, SEC game. I think Alabama will get off their loss. Arkansas is just, they're a subpar SEC team, so Alabama will get this win. Number 8, Michigan State at Purdue. Purdue is meh, and Michigan State is just, you know, a better team all in all, so Michigan State will beat Purdue. USC, who lost to Arizona State on a freaky Hail Mary play, which was awesome. You know, I don't like USC because they've won too many times. USC will be playing the other Arizona team, number 10 Arizona, and I'm going to go with Arizona to beat USC. Arizona has played great past few weeks, so let's go Arizona. Texas, who I think got upset. No, they didn't get upset. They played Baylor last week. They couldn't get upset. So Texas is at number 11 Oklahoma, who actually did get upset. Oklahoma will get off their losing way here and beat Texas easily. Number 12, the Ducks of Oregon, who did get upset. At number 18, UCLA. What was UCLA last week? UCLA got upset too. What is the world coming to? Everybody is getting upset. So 2 teams coming off an upset. I'm going to go with the second straight week Oregon's going to get upset. UCLA will win this game. And speaking of teams that might get upset, we have number 13 Georgia at number 23 Missouri. Now today is Thursday. I'm getting the videos out late. But Georgia's running back Todd Gurley is suspended indefinitely due to violating terms of something of the NCAA. They didn't release any specifics, but he's out. He's not going to play Saturday, and so they're going to have to hope Chubb gets a good game. But I'm going to pick Georgia over Missouri just because well, I'm in Georgia, and maybe if I don't pick Georgia, a riot might break out and I might get killed. Who knows? But, okay, number 16, Oklahoma State at Kansas. Kansas fired their head coach this year, and they're just going down that toilet. Oklahoma State gets the win. Number 19, East Carolina at South Florida. East Carolina went up in the rankings. I think they're going to keep going up in the rankings. They'll beat South Florida. Duke at number 22, Georgia Tech. 2 strong ACC teams. Duke is, I think, 4-1, and Georgia Tech is actually undefeated. But I'm going to go with Georgia Tech to stay undefeated. Watching Duke play against Miami, Duke just didn't show me enough to show they could play with Georgia Tech. So Georgia Tech gets the win. And now to our quick picks. First off, Cincinnati at Miami of Florida. Cincinnati's a 1-win team. Miami's going to have this in the bag. Boston College at North Carolina State. North Carolina State got whipped by Clemson last week in Death Valley, which was spectacular in my opinion. They got shut out, I think they're coming off that loss. They'll get the win over Boston College, who is a very, very weak team. Speaking of Clemson, Louisville comes into Death Valley to play the Tigers, and I think we'll beat Louisville. I think that'll put us over 500 if we win. We're either 2-3 and 3-3. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure 3-3. We only had 1 bye week, and we've lost to Florida State. I'm not quite sure off the top of my head, but Clemson will beat Louisville. UL Monroe at Kentucky. I think Kentucky will get the win here. Chattanooga at Tennessee. Tennessee showed a great outing against Georgia. when they played at Georgia. So Tennessee will easily beat Chattanooga. LSU at Florida. It should be a good game, but I'm going to go with LSU over Florida. And finally, Charles, I think Charleston Southern at Vanderbilt. If I'm wrong, I mean, who cares? It's a weak who cares team, but they're at Vanderbilt. I think Vanderbilt finally gets a second win. So that's it for Week 7 of NCAA. Stay tuned for Week 6 of NFL. I'm your host, Chris Mark Reed. And until then, see you later.